Welcome to podcast 187. Now, within this particular podcast, we'll be discussing exactly what females should be doing to lose body fat. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is females typically go about training for fat loss completely different to males. They almost assume that because they're not a male, they think they should be training in a different way to lose body fat. Now, it's very typical to see females just on the treadmill, the cross trainer, the exercise bike, doing spinning classes, various classes with the goal of losing body fat. Now, I'm going to tell you now that you're going the completely wrong way to achieve your fat loss goals. You really need to be focusing on training very similar to a male for best results. Remember that within the fat loss phase, we've really got two objectives. We've got the goal of losing body fat, but also got the second goal of maintaining as much muscle mass as possible. And it's really that second objective which dictates the approach we take when we're trying to lose body fat. I assume that you don't want to be stick thin. You want to have well-developed glutes, well-developed legs, shoulders and arms. And that comes from having weight training as the foundation of your routine. Now, in addition to that, it's really important to know you're not going to get big and bulky doing weight training. So important just to realize that. But a lot of females just spend too much time on the treadmill doing cardio. If they do any weight training, it's very low weight, high reps. And another point I'd make is when I see a lot of female diets before they work with me, is they're typically consuming insufficient protein. Now, the reason why this is a problem is if you're consuming insufficient protein within the fat loss phase, you're going to lose a lot of muscle mass within the fat loss phase. And again, that's not going to give you the desired look that you're after. Now, how should you be going about training for fat loss? So once again, you should be training in a very similar way to a male. There's a couple of nuanced changes that I would suggest making, but for the most part, you want to be training in a similar way to a male would with the goal of losing body fat. So weight training must be the foundation of your routine. That goes without saying that we need to have weight training as the foundation of our routine. The reason why is weight training's main role within the fat loss phase is to help preserve lean muscle mass. So when you do lose weight, you're mainly losing body fat, water and glycogen, as opposed to lots of muscle mass. So that weight training component, the whole goal of that is just there to help preserve strength and therefore preserve muscle mass within the fat loss phase. Now, once you've got that in place, you're then going to be either decreasing calories or adding in cardio as tools to basically create the calorie deficit needed for fat loss. We must be creating a calorie deficit. We need to be burning more calories than we're consuming, but we need to have the weight training in place first. Weight training is there to preserve lean muscle mass, and then manipulating calories and adding more cardio. Those tools, cardio and reducing calories, those are the tools we use to create the calorie deficit needed for fat loss, not weight training. Weight training is just there to preserve lean muscle mass. In addition to that, we want to have protein being sufficient. Again, protein's main role in the fat loss phase is to preserve lean muscle mass. So I'd suggest having approximately 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight for lean individuals. So if you're a male under 15% body fat, or a female under approximately 20% body fat, stick with those recommendations. If you're above those body fat percentage figures, I'd suggest placing that protein target against your goal body weight. So work out your goal body weight and then set your protein up 2 grams per kilogram of body weight to achieve the goal body weight. Otherwise, protein would come out too high. So once you've got the weight training component in place, you want to be focusing mainly compound exercise, things like squats, deadlifts, lunges, bench press, overhead press, all these big compound exercises that use a lot of muscle mass. The only nuance I'd make from a female routine compared to a male routine would be training the lower body and glutes slightly more frequently. The reason why is typically this is an area most females want to develop more within the fat loss phase. They want to maintain more within the fat loss phase. So therefore, typically, if I've got a client that trains 5 days a week, I'll be training lower body glutes 3 days and then 2 upper body sessions. That's typically how I set things up for my female clients if they're training 5 days per week. Now, once you've got this all in place, it's really important to note that fat loss plateaus are normal. People assume that once they've got the diet, the macros set up, the calories set up, the training set up, they don't have to do anything. But it's really important to note that fat loss plateaus are normal, and that's just your cue to basically drop calories or add in more cardio when you reach a plateau. So important to realize that you will reach multiple plateaus in the fat loss phase. and that's just your cue to make a change. So really, the progress is never in a straight line. It's more like a wiggly line. You'll make progress, then you'll reach a plateau, then you're going to drop calories or add in more cardio, then you'll start making progress again, then you'll reach another plateau, then you'll make another change, then you'll start seeing progress, then you'll reach another plateau, and the cycle continues. You're just making these small manipulations, approximately dropping calories by approximately 10-15%, keep protein constant, and then or add in additional cardio session within your week, or increase the duration of your current cardio sessions. So thank you very much for listening. If you're still yet to subscribe to the podcast, please do so, miss an episode. I look forward to speaking to you next week. Take care.